The Divas division will look up and shout, "Save us!" And the Authority will whisper, "Best for business." Welcome to the One Player Podcast. I've been a busy little bee this past week, mostly trying to platinum one game and finish an LP of another, and I've done so. So yay. I'll go to my next LP after I do this. I'm doing this on a Sunday, trying to get all this out of the way before the pay-per-view, and then I can just cover that on Monday and have that done early. That took so long because I was busy doing videos of the other LP. I'm testing that out, so all systems will be go for that. But that's mostly just what I've been doing, and a lot of other stuff. Still going through Fantasy Life, still doing all that stuff. Now I'm doing all the tedious stuff that's like cook this thing, make this thing, tailor this thing. Yeah, you get all the go out and kill shit at the top, and then it's like I think like the second line is like salvage shit. Like you get your like go out and cut down those trees, go down and catch this many fish, catch this type of fish, mine this many materials or stuff like that. Yeah. There's like 12 different jobs, and I think it's like divided by like 3 of what you do. It's like go out and kill, go out and find, and I'm down at the bottom. I'm like at the create like the cook, the tailor, and stuff like that. That's what I'm going through now. Before I guess a lot of places are saying like go to this place, the Terra Nimbus they call it. And I guess that's like the final area or something like that I gotta go to. Because there can't be much else of that game left. I think I'm level 76. I'm up there. The max got to be like 99 or 100 or something. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm up there, man. But yeah. I mean, a couple things in gaming news, especially most of the fighting game stuff. Holy shit! King of Fighters 14. It actually exists. Not longer just a dream on Mugen and the like. It actually does exist, and man, are people pissed. They're none too pleased with the result. I've already seen on their the trailer all the thumbs down. I'm like, what's happening? Like before I even saw the trailer itself, I looked over and I was like, wow, a lot of hate on this one. I guess simply because it's 3D and Kyo and Iori Yagami changed their outfits again. Like I think for Kyo, this is like the 5th, 6th outfit change he's had. Iori kind of slowly catching up. I don't know. As someone who really liked and commended the effort put in for Maximum Impact series, which was KOF's first shot at 3D, I for one am very interested and hope they don't simply, that just because it's a new engine, they don't KOF 12 this game, because that was, oof. Like, it was cool visually, but man, and then 13 came out, and then like SNK does have a lot to prove because they did 13 and then the really bad net code. So I'm fingers crossed that this game proves a lot of doubters wrong and SNK Playmore can come back for real and take the saddle of fighting games that they held in their prime. I think they're maybe a long, long way from that. But again, this is me being optimistic and being the huge SNK fan that I was. That I still am. I got a lot of their games. I mean, I bought the Neo Geo for that reason. The X Gold, which moving stuff around, I gotta get that back and set that up. Maybe I can start that again. Although I'm not that good with arcade sticks. But hey, I can play Gato. But again, SNK Playmore with a lot to prove, especially with their new they got bought out by that Chinese company, Tencent, like I mentioned. So, they're coming up against Street Fighter V, who confirmed the original Ojo-sama character, Karin Kanzuki. Her big Guren Ken that she used to go into all sorts of her other attacks is now her V trigger, while her V skill is this huge palm strike that knocks down opponents and knocks out projectiles, and she can charge this as well. Alongside this reveal was a community-building tool called Capcom Fighting Network, which shows off where in the world matches are taking place, individual players, which you can see their profile info, past match history, replays, all that stuff. It tells you how you won or lost, like if you use a lot of light punches or if you tech throws a lot. Really gives an in-depth look into It's like, okay, I did a lot of this. Maybe I can do something else. So, and you can see how other people fight. Like, oh, they use this move a lot. Maybe it's, you know, I can find a way to punish that or something, or maybe make them second guess using that move and go for a throw or something like that. But so yeah, it's pretty in-depth stuff. So, Capcom arguably held down the PlayStation 3 era with Street Fighter 4. It looks to do the same here with 5 for the PlayStation 4. So, Revelator, Guilty Gear Xrd, comes... It's already out in arcades, but it's coming to the PlayStation 3 and 4 in Japan, spring of 2016. They too got a new trailer. Nobody new character-wise revealed yet, but a couple new stages. You can look through that. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax Ignition coming to consoles, the PlayStation 3, 4, and Vita in Japan December 17th. They got a new trailer. Meanwhile, the original edition drops here October 6th. I might get that just to get like the story thing out or something like that. I don't know. I'm always interested in new fighters. I can't play him worth a damn anymore. Not competitively, but I'll take a look at it. But yeah, not much in the way of snacking. Only got a couple things because I'm trying to save my money a little bit. Because I know the holidays are coming, and I'm going to be putting more to that, and especially with more games coming out. That's what I got to. I know I gotta save food to buy games. That's more expensive. That's not really saving anything. But I can't be too frivolous and just get stuff I see on I did do a little bit of shopping. I got Pringles doing them tortilla chips. They're not exactly they're not that new. I mean, I've seen them a couple times, but this is the first one I found where there was like more than one. I've seen that. I've had the nacho before. I like that a lot, but this time I got back the zesty salsa, not spicy, zesty. People need to know the difference. Especially people who make that stuff. Like, you get zesty and spicy. I'm like, no, this is wrong. Zesty does not equal spicy. Zesty equals zesty. Zesty is a lot of flavor. I like zesty a lot. Like, that's what I tend to look for sometimes. Like, a lot of things are spicy, and I'm like, I see zesty. I'm like, this might be. So yeah, not spicy at all. It's like a Pringles chip, but it gives off like a bit of more of a crunch, like a tortilla kind of. They have a cinnamon one too, which is also really good. They're all really good. Unlike the Lay's, because they're only like small cans, I can go through them and not have like 4 bags of chips just laying around not being eaten. Because eventually just normal potato chips, I get sick of them after a while, and I'm like, ugh, I gotta eat something else. Pringles I can eat a lot of, because, well, that's not really like potato chip. It's like a... But I remember like whole tin of like the barbecue. That's what got me into potato chips a little bit. Like the barbecue ones were really good, and I'd get like a thing of the Pringles had one back in the early 90s. I remember. I don't know if it was Pringles. It might have been just because they had the stack, but it was like a triangular stack. They had like these little nacho things called Torengos. Those were amazing. I don't know why they stopped making them. I guess just to have Pringles be Pringles. I don't know. I'll have to look into that later. But yeah, not much in that. And I'm gonna... Let's go into Raw and Smackdown, and... while hoping Night of Champions will fare better than Raw and Smackdown? I don't know. I'm doing this again. I'm doing this now, so I can just... After I see the pay-per-view, I'll go into that. But anyway, Raw opens with the Authority putting over the season premiere. Really? Season premiere? Don't you have to like have an off season? Have a September, I guess. Again, what constitutes a season premiere? Like the whole year is your season? Like, okay. I don't know how I can argue with that. I guess you'd have to have an off-season, like reruns or something like that. But yeah, it's like the season premiere of a show that hasn't had any reruns. It's just... don't know how to argue it. But anyway, they put over the matches we're going to see tonight. But the biggest thing, though, was for our main event, Sting was going to compete against The Big Show. Ugh. So already I'm going into this like, It starts off really good with Stephanie introduced that it's a new day. The new season premiere. It's a new day, and they get set to defend their titles against the Primetime Players. We get a Triple H doing. It was not all the way hilarious. Not all like awkward enough to not be completely hilarious. Just be kind of he's white people dancing. Probably meant as some people looked at that and were like, well, that's dead now. We can't be, well, they're not cool anymore. Yeah. White people. Which I say as I'm the whitest thing in this room I'm sitting in right now. Okay, well, no, my fan's over there in my windowsill. I'm not the whitest, but yeah. The whitest thing that gives off oxygen inhaling and exhaling in the room is what I'll say. The whitest living, breathing, evolving thing in the room. Well, not really. Evolving into what? Ugh. It's a little stuffy in here, and sometimes the heat makes me go off topic again. Ugh. Which made for that really hilarious one that one time. I thought that was my best one, even though it might have come off a little obnoxious for some of you. I apologize. But yeah. Anyway, 10 good tag, yeah, can't even say it. That's how I'm in. Tandem tag offense. That's what I'm looking for. He's got a trombone for the soundtrack. We're back from commercial. We get Big E sneaking up on Darren Young and Woods playing the Pink Panther ballet on the saxophone. Like he's just. Oh my god, this Raw. I was like, okay, I'm excited, and I knew it was going to go downhill from here. Titus O'Neil takes his eyes off the match for like a second, and Woods on the trombone. Just, like, he's on Woods and breaks a piece of the trombone off. I'm like, no! But that's enough for Big E and Kofi to take advantage, and so Dudleys versus New Day is set. I knew they were going to return because you got to push the Dudleys, but I wanted to see how they were going to do it. But they broke the trombone. I don't remember if I saw it on SmackDown. I think he might have been wrestling at the time, so I don't see it. They might have broken the trombone. Well, I didn't see it on SmackDown. Rollins backstage with Triple H and Stephanie saying, you guys got Sting fighting Big Show, but what about Cena? Oh yeah, what about Sheamus for that matter? Like, both these guys are giving, like, I got Cena for the U.S. title, and Sheamus has been getting in my face over the weekend. Triple H is like, Cena, Sheamus? Sounds like you kind of solved your own problem now, didn't you? So Cena versus Sheamus. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. It's not Orton Sheamus, so I'll take it. I left for a bit because I had to use the restroom, so I missed a little bit. I know I left around the time. I think Renee Young was interviewing Charlotte and Ric Flair on the Divas match tonight. They were gonna, because she's gunning for the titles. But I came back to Sasha and Paige continuing right where they left off on SmackDown. Both they're both starting off kind of like really throwing into each other, kind of catfooting, till both of them remember like, oh hey, we can actually wrestle, and they do. So like it was a little weird. Like it starts off like a brawl, and then both of them are like, hey, wait a minute, we're Divas that can actually put on a match and not have to devolve to that shit. Like we're kind of working in reverse, aren't we? It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna grapple now, okay? Like, all right, cool. They didn't do it like it just weirded me out a little bit. It kind of bothered me a little bit, but I'm like, oh wait, I just thought it was weird. And this time Sasha takes that hard landing on her head. She makes that big time suplex from Paige, who has to roll away to the outside for safety. And while she's down holding her head, Tamina pulls. Paige's about to go to the outside, and Tamina just pulls Sasha away. So Paige just crash and burn on nothing, and Sasha immediately takes advantage and throws her back in. Backcrack and a bank statement. Tap out. Sasha still undefeated in singles competition, and I was right on Twitter. Well, Sasha's saying it too, but I was like right on Twitter to Triple H. I don't know how much that would actually do. maybe I should test the WWE, although I don't know how much that would do either. But I'm like, hey, where's her title shot? She's due, okay? She's past due, in my opinion. She's, like I said, she's been dominating. She's the banner of the whole Team Bad. Like, she's the most successful one of the three. Naomi will do pretty good, but Tamina, you need that team to job, and you really throw Tamina in there. And she's supposed to be like the big muscle. I'm like, Ms. TV for some reason decides to bring us the Wyatt family, and Bray's like, no, Miz, you may not sit down. Like, it's not safe. No one's safe. Miz is like, hey, just for the record, I'm not the third man for your match with Ambrose and Reigns, and I want to know who Braun Strowman is. And Bray's like, he's standing right there. Ask him yourself. And Miz is like, okay, I'll do that. And Bray's like, oh, is that what you want? Is that what you want? You're really gonna do that? Like, wow, you're to go into danger and get that big scoop. And then Miz, is that what you want? Miz like, what do you want? And Bray's like, for you to suffer. For Ambrose and Reigns to suffer. So it goes over the Apocalypse again. It's just bringing that over. So I'm like, what do you want? I want you to suffer. I want you to suffer. And here comes Dean and Roman. They see Miz gets in their face and just toss him out like nothing. That nothing he is. And stare down at the Wyatts. Roman's like, you're sitting here like you're the king. You took out Orton. You took out my cousin. You're going to pay for that one. But if you were the man, you could have beat me one-on-one. Our last match that we had together. But you can't. The two of you could have beaten me and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. And you couldn't. Even with this big behemoth, you jump our partners to try and keep it 3-on-2 to try to keep your monsters protected as you can, so you got the one-man advantage, but we've got a third. We bring the big fight and make it a war, and we're going to win. And Twitter account @NotThatTomGreen said he was hoping it would be Jeff Hardy rechristened as Meth Rollins. Everywhere you... he does a podcast on Full House. I remember watching that back in the day. For whatever reason. Remember being a fan of that. Maybe I'll give that a listen, maybe. I don't know. I haven't had the time to do that just because I've been trying to refocus and get back on track with LPs and stuff like that. But, I gotta set aside, like, a day for that. And start watching that stuff like that. That'd be cool. I'm keeping up with other podcasts. I keep up, of course, with I watch a OSW review. I watch the new spanking new special chocolatey coated fudge triple access podcast when they actually upload. Which is kind of how this podcast started, actually, because they wouldn't do it every week. I had to do the Raw and Smackdown to catch up, and now I'm 28, I think this episode is. Let me look it up real quick. 28, yeah, because 27 was the spices, the pumpkin. Okay, wow. I've one for almost every week now. And I'm thinking maybe I was thinking myself I should do this monthly and just talk about the pay-per-view, but I don't know. That would be a lot to get through, I think. It would just make, like, I can do one podcast every week for maybe like less than an hour. Well, this one's gonna take more because of all the stuff in the pay-per-view. Or I could do one big one for like maybe 2 or 3 hours long. So I don't know. But you let me know in the comments which you want me to keep the weekly thing going, or you want me to. I was thinking of changing it monthly, but I don't think that'd be a good idea. I'm not 100% sold on it myself, so. I'll leave it to you guys to decide for me. I think I should stick with the weekly. But if just to keep Raw and SmackDown together in my head, because to go over, like, I don't know how I would do that. Be interesting. Yeah. But anyway, Cena and Sheamus are up next. Hustle, loyalty, and respect the Hawk, as I called this match. Both hit each other with their finishers and submissions, but can't keep the other man down. Sheamus goes for his 10 boots, and Cena returns the favor later on. Hey, a move John Cena can't fuck up, unlike his springboard stunner. Which I don't remember him using during this match, thank God. Because I was Sheamus, I would swat him out of the air. Fuck your finish, fella. Go back to OVW, that doesn't even exist anymore, fella. You fucking animal, ya. Ya fucking punts. Did they say punts? I thought that was a British word, punts. Yeah, punts. Yeah, fucking gobshite. That's what I want. Shut your gob, ya puh. You tosser. I think I'm confusing my... that's why I'm very careful when I do accents, because I tend to be all over the place. I'm like, who does what now? But anyway, Sheamus reverses Cena's submission into a rolling senton. No sold. Cena counters Brogue attempt for win. It's the season permit, really. And JBL still has the fucking cue cards regarding network for the pay-per-view. If you are a fan of this, how the fuck do you not have the network by now? Like, I was skeptical on it because, you know, it's like, okay, it's live streaming pay-per-view. It's like, they're not going to be able to handle it. The server's not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to wait like a couple months. But it's been around for a while now, but over a year now. Like, how... Like, if you're watching doing this pay-per-view thing, like, how do you not have the network by now? Why are you still doing this stupid cue card bullshit? If it's the season premiere, like, I'm trying to argue with it, maybe. I guess that's why, like, they're doing it. Because now it's because it's the season premiere, but most of us who are fans already are looking at this like, come the fuck on! You know? Don't mean to get pissed off about that, but god damn! You know, you made your fucking point! I'll push that out of the way. Sorry, I don't mean to get upset about it, but... Anyway, Ryback on the mic, finding it fitting to be here in Memphis. Apparently, Kevin Owens has the big guy all shook up. I will spare you his horrible Elvis impersonation. You're welcome. Owens comes out and says, I know you've no respect for me, but you've also no respect for... No, Owens doesn't come out. He says... Shit. He says it to Owens that he has no respect for me, but you also have no respect for this ring or the championship. And then Owens comes out and says, you know, a few months ago you said how the book called The Secret helped you recover from injury and get where you are. I'm like, holy shit, this is TNA full. This is not even TNA Foley because they did in WWE too. This is Ric Flair Foley over the book thing all over again when he said Ric Flair was not as good a booker as he was in ring, which arguably was true. Again, I didn't watch that much WCW back then in the day when, because that was like early WCW Cactus Jack, like. But I'm like, yeah. Owens is like, yeah, it's just. I couldn't help but pick up a copy after reading it myself. I'm like, you know, The Secret helped you recover from your injury and get you where you are, and I actually feel sorry for you and all those delusional idiots who believe this crap. This book is an excuse, a crutch. And I can't blame you for reading it, but I blame you for being weak in the first place. You were probably the strongest guy in that locker room. But you're kind of also the weakest because of this. And, you know, I consider that travesty and disgrace to have you as a champion. And Ryback's like, you want to judge me for reading that book? Question who I am and what I'm about? I'm the big guy. I kick the day's ass and go to bed saying thank you and say, food, move more. There are different ways to climb the mountain, and I know it took you a long time to get here, and yeah, I did get that elevator to the top. I felt just as fast, if not faster, but I climbed my way back up and earned the right to say that here I stand as your Intercontinental Champion. And Owens is like, you know, for now, because I'm gonna get that opportunity to take that sooner or later, and I'll show you that the big guy is just a small little boy. And Ryback says, I talked to the authority. How about you get your chance at Night of Champions against the, quote, master of the Feed Me More? The master of the Feed Me More? The master! Master! A lot of goofy shit this night. I'm not sure I'm okay with half of it. apparently Stardust and the Ascension are a thing. They're gonna take on Neville and the Lucha Dragons at the pre-show. And that match went about as quick as it... Well, they did it on Raw, and it took about as quick as it took for me to finish wording that sentence. Like, about as long, give or take. Nikki Bella gets a vignette saying, how'd your year go? You spend time with your friends, your family. It's nice, but it's not impressive. I spent my year holding this title. You begged for a revolution, I gave you one. I came here 8 years ago, and you all thought I'd be eye candy, but here I am, soon to be the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. Actually, as Raven Siarm perfectly put this together, you spent your year using your boyfriend's stroke and exploited WWE's hatred for CM Punk and anybody remotely related to the guy to hold on to the title far longer than you deserve. So, the Divas Championship match is up next. Charlotte with the early offense, and then Nikki focuses on Charlotte's left arm, trying to take the submission away from her. I'm like, okay, it's smart, By the way, as of that Monday, it was now currently tied with AJ Lee's reign, so it's desperation time. After this, it's over. Charlotte, with that one arm, still powers Nikki up and drops her back down to escape an armbar. Charlotte driving Nikki back with chops. Woo! Countering Nikki's Alabama Slam into a spear. Alicia gets involved as Twin Magic goes off, but fuck yo, Twin Magic! Charlotte with a roll-up, wins that Divas Championship, and then Stephanie has to do her job. Kind of spoil the moment by, you didn't pin the right one, and that match should have been thrown out due to disqualification the minute she laid hands on you. So you win, but it's due to disqualification, and the title can't change hands on the disqualification, so still your champion and breaker of the... Stephanie, you have failed this city. And she compromises by making it, they're already going to have the match again at Night of Champions, but she tries to compromise by saying, Nikki, if you, for any reason, lose that match, pinfall, submission, countout, DQ, you lose the title. So it's a must-win for Nikki now. And say it's a rematch, but the point is moot, I think. You really wanted to compromise, that would have been like, if I was Triple H, I'd have come out there and say, you know what? That's a good match. But hey, it's the season premiere. I think I can make it. I think we can do better than that. I think there's a diva back there who's been dominating just every week. She's been undefeated since coming to Raw, and I'm based on that track record. I'm going to throw her in the mix and make this sumbitch a triple threat. So it'll be Charlotte versus Nikki versus the boss, Sasha Banks. That's how you fucking compromise. I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, oh. I would not have just immediately said, fuck this Raw, and not half paid attention. I may go back to doing that, because kind of Sky likes to stream Persona. It's usually a lot of fun to watch. I know that's what I did for SmackDown. I can DVR that shit now. I may start doing that if this keeps up. I know I did that last time when we watched Digimon, so. And I can look through things and pay more attention instead of watching it live. I can go back and I'm like, oh, I missed something. What did they say? Rusev versus Cesaro to try and wash the bad taste in our collective mouths, but I'm just super dehyped. I'm like, well, fuck this. I'm gonna go get a root beer and calm down. We eventually got over Lesnar beating one streak. I don't think we're getting over this one. Or we're just going to forget it. And I know someone, I forget who on Twitter said it. It's like, they did the thing with Sasha Banks. They were thinking, like me and compromising. It's like, hey, wait till Sasha Banks wins it. And then she's like champion for, like, she'll break CM Punk's title streak. She'll be like for 455 days or something like that. Or however long Punk held it, for 400 and... It was something along those lines, like 440, 450 something. So, again, it's the type of person, she's been the boss since at least on Raw, in my guess. She wasn't on NXT, but you could argue that The boss. I've been the boss on Raw since the moment I walked through through the front doors and Stephanie gave me the opportunity. I've been the boss. And ever since then, I've gone through every diva you put in front of me and for 400, So, again, this is me being optimistic, but if they make her lose a match, maybe that's why she's not, because then I look over to NXT, I'm like, oh, she's in a match with Bayley, and it's an Iron Man match? 30 minutes? Bayley and Sasha? How the fuck have I keep missing? Maybe I should start covering NXT and be like, maybe I'll do maybe I'll split the podcast. What do you guys think of that? Not that NXT needs my help in covering that, but holy shit, that alone is enough to be like, holy shit, gotta watch that. And even on Raw, I was more hype about I was more hype about the Charlotte Nikki for any other match on Raw at that point. And then they say Sting. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna get Sting for free. Kind of weird to give it away, but I'm like, all right, let's see if you can. And then it's against the Big Show. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, Rusev's and Cesaro. Ziggler comes out with a tiny gift for Summer, but she's not having any of it. And Cesaro, off that distraction, pins him, and he ends up getting. And then Rusev gets into super kicked by Ziggler. So, Show comes in with the Authority watching, because the Authority are watching the main event as they want to see Show boot Sting, and Sting just starts kicking the Big Show down after averting a chokeslam into a Stinger splash, and here comes Rollins, and the match is over. Cena to even the odds, so holla holla, tag team match, Cena and Sting versus Show and Seth. Cena get wrecked by both these guys. Sting gets in and gets that Scorpion Deathlock on Rollins, who immediately taps out. Season premiere, and you swerve your big main event and put Cena in 2 matches, and your other big hype match ends due to bullshit, just to push the pay-per-view, which I guess kind of makes sense, but you also gave Sting away for free on here, and only in pro wrestling can you not face cancellation for shit like this. Well, if you're WWE, I guess. Because TNA, and the fucked up thing is, I watch them and they win the whatchamacallit. That was the opportunity for TNA to be like, yeah, you know what, we're done. It's Global Force Wrestling now. That's the ultimate opportunity for Jarrett to buy him out, but he's no longer the shareholder anymore. So what the fuck happens now? Do they just die off? What happened? Global Force Wrestling? I don't know if that's much, but you could. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, they have I think they have the TV deal with Destination America till the end of the year, till December. Or was it they're doing it for February? I forget. I think it was till the end of this year. But I don't know what happens after that. They might get another program or something like that, or I guess, because you can still do watch. I guess you'd still be a thing, but without TVs, you'd be the I think the only other game in town. Or aren't they isn't Destination Man getting Ring of Honor or something? I don't know. It's been a while since I looked up stuff like that. Sometimes I'll look up what I used to do is look up lordsofpain.net, and that's what I usually go to for my sources. But yeah. Fighting pediatric cancer does not excuse you for shit booking. SmackDown opens with Rollins vowing to beat Cena again and break him at Night of Champions, and will show Sting that he's the past and Seth Rollins is the now. He's in a match teaming with Sheamus versus Rollins and Ambrose, and says, I'm not worried, and, says the old adage of keeping friends close and enemies closer. Sheamus says, what comes out, he says, what do you say I am, fella? A friend or an enemy? Because I can tell you, you don't want me as your enemy. Or you can keep me as far away as possible while you can, because when I cash in, you won't see it coming. Friend. Rollins says, I'll see you coming and your ridiculous haircut coming. Yeah, I'll see that coming. I usually don't agree with the universe on a whole hell of a lot, but you look stupid. And once again, putting that over. And she was like, RTH, respect the hawk. I smell how hashtag a WWE is going to force down our throats. Reminds Rollins of their main event match and says, whether you see me coming or not, when I cash in, I'll be champ. Paige kind of going half-assed tonight by the looks of this Divas match. She's in there with Becky Lynch against Naomi and Sasha Banks. I don't know, maybe she's, again, because of the... Like I said, like she took 2 really hard shots to the head, so maybe she's a little hurt and can't do a whole hell of a lot, but she's... With Becky Lynch, Sasha, and Naomi, she sticks out. It's noticeable. Like freshman yearbook picture stick. Like wow, she's not really doing 100% out here. Naomi wins the match via a roll up on roll up again. Like, here goes your Divas Revolution, rather. A roll up. Just when it seemed Paige was rallying back too, but yeah. Stardust says, Neville and the Dragons, your minds are trapped in celestial detention. Forgo your apprehension. You've no chance at redemption. Straight from the 5th dimension, rise the ascension. Yeah, they do a thing for that because they're on the pre-show. So yeah, yeah, that whole thing with Stephen and Mel, and now you're on the pre-show. Wow. Fighting pediatric cancer does not exclude you from shit booking, once again. New Day in the Ring said, we've seen the blatant disrespect for furniture by the Dudley Boys. Disrespecting a, not just man, but a woman. A woman near and dear to us, Mother Nature. Yeah. Xavier Woods, the creepy, kind of scary, angry again, like, you don't mess with Mother Nature. And Kofi's like, you got to respect your mama. You got to respect your mama. Oh God, if only Mr. T came out now. That would have made the SmackDown flawless. Like, even if you were shit the entire run, just doing that would have been like, this SmackDown was good. I can't hate on the SmackDown if you did. So we've got this petition pretty much on a, it's like on them little clipboards. So they're pretty much like pretty much a mini table, a petition to save the tables. Only you can prevent table poaching, so help us help them. And Kofi's in singles competition with Devon, who at the start of the match, he goes over to give him that petition. He takes a knee over it and breaks it, and Kofi just like, broke my petition. Big on the outside tries to save a table, but Bubba's there to prevent that, while Devon deals with Woods, who helped Big E out to get that table. And Kofi gets a roll-up victory off of that. Nikki Bella had near wardrobe malfunction, but then again, SmackDown's taped, so we're not going to get to enjoy that while the Bellas are talking about whatever. I don't care. I know that makes me sound like a total shove. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Big Show on his way to a match. The Miz has a folder with the words confidential on it, skims through it, and tosses it aside. What the fuck was that? Tune in to the pay-per-view to find out, I guess? They don't say that. I have no fucking clue. I'm guessing. He goes over Cesaro. Fuck. He's back with no taped up ribs, so time for revenge? Like, he knocked out Cesaro last week, the KO punch, and just out there, but so Cesaro has to contend with size, but he does hold his own, working on the arms to try and take away pretty much all his finishers, like the KO punch, the choke slam, arguably the final cut, if he still uses that, for those who remember. Big Show with an arm bar on the leg, according to the announcers, so wouldn't that make it a leg bar? Cesaro does counter a lot of Show's moves, but not the KO punch, and they eventually just, yeah. Move over, new stars. Renee Young wants to know who the third man is for Reigns and Ambrose. Reigns is, love to tell you, but can't. After Orton, after my cousin, gotta play this one close to the chest. Dean made a phone call, and let's just say he made the right one. Dean says, ever since Strowman, we've been outgunned. With our third, the sides are going to be a little more even. Kevin Owens set to face off against Dolph Ziggler, cutting with Rusev on the side with them little cut-in window saying, you stole Lana, now you're trying to steal Summer. Your gift won't impress Summer. Me breaking you in half at Night of Champions will. And Dolph right on top of Owens for some reason. Like, he starts the match and just starts throwing it. Was that a thing? Maybe he's psyching himself up and fighting him like he was Rusev or something like that. But his weak link is he's fighting Kevin Owens, who's has a number one contender. Pardon me, number one contender for the IC title. So I was expecting Owens to just fuck him up. But yeah, you want to talk bringing prestige back to a title? Ryback can kind of do it, but a workhorse like Kevin Owens, like the guy who worked like 3 matches, like you put it on gotta put him on these younger guys. Ryback's not an old guy either, but so Ryback Owens is a match I can say I'm like kind of really looking forward to. Not even kind of, like I'm like, the more I think about it, I'm like, this could be good for both these guys. This could be what both these guys need. Both of these, yeah. Owens is what Cesaro needed until, I guess, well, Owens went through him. So now Cesaro's losing to the Big Show, so. Ziggler, you know, he gets almost counted out a couple of times. At one point, he's launched over that barricade just after being fallaway slammed into it. Like, Owens just fucking Ziggler up. And he's about to he gets him outside again, and he's about to powerbomb Ziggler onto the floor. Like, he's about to put him away, so. I'm like, oh, we can't have that. Ryback's going to run in and put a stop to that. So Owens wins by DQ. I'm like, wow. So again, putting over Owens as this guy who will do whatever it takes to win. Like, you're going to keep coming back in, trying to... you don't want to stay outside and take a count out victory? Fine, I'll put you in the fucking range. It's like, holy shit, this is about to escalate. So I expect some shit for that match. This is why I'm so hyped, just because Owens is that badass heel that we need. Seth Rollins, he's the champion, so he's gonna kind of weasel his way and run away. He's with the authorities, doing he's basically like Randy Orton now, but he's not as whiny, so I don't mind it as much. Like, he's not bitching to the authority every week, or I got sick of Randy Orton heel as the authority champion. Like, it's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? Blah blah blah. Seth hasn't done really any of that. Like, he's like, I can. Like, all right, I'm a little miffed off, but he comes out every week confident. He's like, I will survive. I will do what I do best. I will, I'm like, okay. Again, some people are blaming Rollins because the ratings are down. No, it's your shit booking. Which Karen P. does not excuse you for, by the way. I'm going to keep bringing this up. I might forget Monday, but I don't know. Just because it's a new day. Yes, it will be. But yeah, you've killed our streak, so let's run AJ Lee into the ground a bit more by completely ripping off her having a big celebration for being Davis champ for so long, but your character is a bitch, so no one shows. Yeah, the other Bellas were the other Bellas. Well, Alicia was there too, but okay. They're like, we got the DJ, we got, all that stuff. We're going to plan this out, and so she gets out with champagne, and she's all by herself. And so she gets some champagne. Charlotte and her team reminds Nikki, you can't pull that stunt you did at Night of Champions you did on Monday. You lose in any way, and that's it. And your party is shit when Adam Rose in a ponytail and glasses shows up just to say your party sucks. Where the fuck was... Oh, he was on NXT too, I guess. Yeah. Well, maybe that'll help him out. Like, I've read some things like him, Tyler Breeze, and I forget who the third guy was. Bull Dempsey, I think. I can forget off the top of my head, but I just read a thing where he's over there now, and he's like, they pretty much crapped on my party, so now I'm here to crap on your party, Tyler Breeze, or something along those lines. So I guess he's over there. So I guess he's kind of back. Mostly doing NXT stuff, but maybe it'll help him out. Or he should have just been brought back as Leo Kruger. I know they teased that for a while, but I don't know what happened to that. NXT would seem to be like the place to do it, because that's where you got to start. NXT. Like, it seemed like the thing where he's like at some point he just snaps and he was just like reverts to himself and he's just like, because he was fucking cool. I guess you can't make Tata intimidating. They'll find a way. He did. I thought it was... Adam Rose, it fell flat on its face. Why you keep trying to retread it? Just Leo Kruger and have him kill people again. Or whatever he did on early NXT, I forget. He shows up, but yeah, it's Adam Rose. It's like, yeah, your party sucks. And so she gets pissed off. She has like a big kick and just flings it. I thought at Adam Rose, but camera cut to Brie and Alicia coming back from being bitched at by Nikki Winona. She's like, you like, well, okay, we're gonna fix it. She's like, you fucking better. And so they came out to kick and just like, oh, you know what? Good. So dissension could seem like the perfect way to do it. Like maybe they're just like, okay, now you're being kind of a bitch, and we're tired of your shit, and we're just gonna like maybe we see something before the pay-per-view where Nikki's just bitching at both of them, and Brie and Alicia's like, you know what? We don't need this. We're out of here. And it's like, you're the one-man Divas Revolution? You go ahead and be that one-woman Divas Revolution. We're gone. Yeah. Backstage, Summer says to Ziggler about the earring she got on Monday. She's like, just a little unexpected. As a pretty expensive peace offering. And Ziggler's like, sometimes a rose is just that. Sometimes it's more. And he leaves. Heel? Or are they resorting to mind games just to mess with Rusev? Like, maybe this is Lana's idea. Like, she was injured. Like, she's, like, if Rusev, like, she ruined my life, broke my, like, because she's got, like, arm surgery or something like that. So this might be, like, her evil plan to turn Rusev and Summer against each other. I'd actually appreciate this storyline a little bit more if they actually, like, did something that database like Lana. Like, holy shit, she's like she's like this mastermind now. All of a sudden, she's like, I'm being crafty, money. Sitting on her throne, being like, dance puppets dance. Like while she's away, those three. Like he cheated on me. It could be like a thing. Like she's using Ziggler as well. She could be using all three of them. Like Ziggler. It seems like for all intents and purposes, like Lana was in the right. Like she actually may have cheated on her, or may have like at least been involved with her and still wants to be. So maybe this is Lana's like, give him this. I don't know if it will be that. I think it's. I would almost laud it if it was that like well thought out, but I don't know. I think it's just gonna be like generic, like, oh, he cheated on me, I don't like him anymore, and stuff like that. Like it'd be a nice change of pace, is what I'm saying. But anyway, the main event. Of course, Rollins and Sheamus aren't on the same page, and that's what during their interview with Renee, they bring that up, like Ambrose and Reigns, like they bring it up that they're okay. These guys aren't on the same page. We'll pretty much beat their asses and dissect them that way. So the faces pretty much pick up the W easy. Rollins goes for like a tag, and Sheamus drops from the apron saying, "Oh, I look stupid now." The Irish version is like, laddie. Like, yeah, I don't look stupid now, do I? Stupid enough for Rollins to snatch your briefcase or just leave it there for like 2 seconds. Like Rollins looks at the briefcase, like, fucking snatch your briefcase. And that's when Sheamus comes in to retrieve it. He's back in the apron, and Rollins is like, tag! So I'm out of here. Good luck fighting them 2-on-1, so he's pretty much left for dead. And vignette of Braun Strowman fucking everybody up to close SmackDown out. And I think Bray said something, but I didn't know SmackDown had overtime. Apparently did, because when I DVR'd this, it cut out, so I don't know what he said at the end, so I'm just guessing. Maybe it geared up to where, because it was like Bray, because I got to where it was Bray, and then it was Luke Harper. I was thinking, from behind is Braun Strowman, who just takes both of them out again, just to prove his point. So yeah, that's Raw on SmackDown, and fingers crossed that maybe Night of Champions won't suck. Okay, it's a little later in the day, mostly because I was spending the morning portion of today finishing up my next LP that I'm going to be putting out. So, the plan is, well, it's Monday now, you're going to get the podcast you're listening to right now. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the first half of my LP. Sunday is the next podcast that I do, 29. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that next week is the other half. Saturday, I have no idea. I might just take a break and watch videos I'm catching up on or something like that. And Sunday, I'll do another podcast, episode 30. So, and by then, hopefully, have the next LP on that. But I'm back exactly where I want to be. I want to be making videos. I'm already set. I'm just gonna put them all in my Camtasia and just have them upload to YouTube. So that's all that needs to be done now. So I just think I'm all up. But anyway, Night of Champions. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it? No. At the beginning, I didn't catch much of the pre-show because it's the pre-show, and it was like. But I did manage to catch Sheamus revealing in a backstage interview that Seth Rollins had to do, his title matches were going to be back-to-back. So he had to fight Sting, he fights Sting after fighting Cena. He's Cena first, then Sting. And, oh, holy shit, Xavier Woods with the Rufio hair going on. It's a new pan! Yes, it is! Those of you who are saying, like, oh, it's Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm like, nope. Shadow the Hedgehog ripped off that look, probably, from... Like, Sega looked at Rufio and was like, hey, okay, this is a good look. The red and black. The red and black brother. Don't turn your back on the New Day. Oh, man. Always the highlight of any show, the New Day. Pre-show, with the cosmic wasteland of Stardust and his henchmen. I got it right there. Versus the men that forgot about the original Sin Cara, the Lucha Dragons, and Neville. Stardust actually, like, pushes one of the Ascension into the ropes while Neville's on top about to do his, red arrow. So Stardust is able to hit, his crossroads, or, as it's now referred to as the Queen's Crossbow. It's like, stars? Why not call it, call it the Apollo or something, like the, what is that? Constellation. What is it? Bow and arrow. Isn't that Sagittarius or something like that? He's like, oh, that's Sagittarius. Queen's Crossbow. Always the easiest and lamest with you, isn't it, WWE? IC title match to kick off the actual show. Product of the system, Ryback versus one of the IWC's finest. In Kevin Owens. Ryback already hefting Owens around and over that top rope. Hard landing. I've seen this a couple of times in some of these matches. Somebody just gets launched over that top rope. January's still a season away, guys, but it's good to see you guys are practicing. Owens returns the favor by driving Ryback's shoulder and arm into those ring posts. Ryback at some point yelling, just ref my elbow. Owens like, shut up! And continually lays a boot on him. I don't know if he's like selling the match or if he's actually hurt. It's like, oh, referee, my elbow. Goddamn train. Straight up targeting the arm, trying to go for quick pins, and when he doesn't get him, he's right back to wrenching the arm, and he even drops his back senton onto it. So it's really, really targeting that arm and shoulder of Ryback. He just came back from a staph infection from his leg. He was looking to take him out again. It was really cool at the pre-show, too, where he put himself, he's that family man. He's like, I'm a prize fighter without a prize, and I have an opportunity here to claim one, the Intercontinental Championship. So, Owens going to work on the arm. Ryback does fight out and clothesline him with the other arm. Ryback tries to shell-stock Owens, but that shoulder gives away, allowing Owens to do more damage. Torquing it into a submission, since Owens, he keeps trying to torque the arm, and then he goes for keeps going for pins, and he can't get him. So he's like, I'm going to go for it. I'm just like, you're going to tap then. And Ryback just outpowers a 300-pound Owens and slams him. Goes for shell shock again until Owens rake in the eyes. Roll up for 3. New Intercontinental Champion. And we can only hope that for the Intercontinental title curse, it's break Owens break. Break the curse. And it looks like we're not waiting until WrestleMania for Brock Taker 3. Yeah, After this match, there was like a commercial for like the Paul Heyman talking about the it's like Go to Hell repeats. It's like Brock Lesnar's Go to Hell tour, which I think in the Garden goes at first like the Big Show. Wow. So maybe Brock Lesnar's the one to retire him to give the fans what they want, because that would just only add to Brock Lesnar's newfound facedom if he just undoes the Big Show. So yeah, it starts with him. He has a podcast with Stone Cold, the Stone Cold podcast, and then it ends at Hell in the Cell, the next pay-per-view coming October, with The Undertaker. So, which longtime fans will remember that's how Brock actually started really getting over as a face. The first time he was down here in his rookie days, it was him fighting against Biker Undertaker, and Taker was like, you know what? You took it to me, man. You got my respect, and they shook hands. It's so much to Paul Heyman again, because Paul Heyman was still acting like a shifty, conniving heel. So I was like, oh, but I like that. That was pretty good. Rusev does not need your American propaganda. He's being backstage with Rich Brennan with nothing to do with him. He just wants to hurt Ziggler. And he gets in, he's like trying to inquire Summer. It's like, isn't that Dolph's earrings? And I'm like, and she leaves. I'm like, are you asking that? Dolph Ziggler looking like a big licorice, dressed in all black in Rick Rude fashion, has Lana's face on his crotch, and who's the face? Rusev's no saint for what he did to Lana either, but Ziggler, Christ. Not endearing himself in any way these past couple of weeks, because he's like, is he or isn't he with Summer Rae now? Like, he's trying to steal, his big thing was steal your girlfriend. That's not a face thing to do. Some people really didn't care about this match on Twitter. I don't think that many people here did that. We're in Houston, by the way. This crowd was pretty good. I liked it. Houston was good tonight. Rusev very nearly gets at a 3 with already a huge spinning sidewalk slam. Just bounces Ziggler right off the mat. You see that in slow motion, like he kind of bounces right off it. Not quite head first, it was more shoulder, but it might have impacted a lot less. Ziggler with a near fall of his own after sending Rusev into the turnbuckle and finally getting that Billy Gunn move after it being dodged by Rusev a few times and broken out of. Beautiful DDT from Ziggler, which stunned Rusev, and he sold it like a fucking cartoon character. He's like right on top of his head before he just flops over. And this is after he powers out of a sleeper, too. So it's everybody getting finishes in another. Huge super kick from Rusev, and he thinks he's got him, but the ref, he thinks he's got the 3 off that, and the ref explains, like, no, he got up, like, just in time to get the shoulder up. So then there was no bell rung, so I was like, okay, well, no, he didn't beat him, okay. And the ref was like, no, you didn't win. Rusev's pissed. So and without Lana, I forgot to mention for a while now, he's been telling himself to crush, like, he'll just stand there, what he calls for his accolade, he'll go, Rusev, crush! And he's like, oh. He's still thinking about her. So in comes the accolade, and Ziggler fights it off with a super kick of his own. It doesn't quite get all of Rusev, so it just grazes him, and he gets him, like, for a near fall. Summer on the apron gets brought in inadvertently, like she's trying to break up the match and getting the ref attention, and something happens and she gets like thrown over the ring, and the ref sees this and she's like, you get the fuck out of here, so it throws her out. And so she gets pissed off. She throws a shoe in the ring trying to hit the ref, but he dodges that shit, like and it hits Rusev, and it costs him the match. Rusev. Time to stop being rude and start focusing on hurting people. What was it? Keep it 5 stars head? Like, I guess they're dealing with them crazy white women. Tag champs out first, I guess, because they gotta have microphones and so I'm like, all right. He's like, Houston, we have a problem. A Dudley problem. Your tables are being systematically destroyed by those table poachers. But hope is not lost. We're on a campaign to save tables around the world. Thousands have already signed the petition. Some pretty significant names. Number 1, the Authority. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill. Jake from State Farm. Yeah. For those who remember that commercial. What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. Like, holy shit. Like a good table, New Day is there. The most over. And their heels. Wow. Like, everybody fucking loves New Day now. So we got them, we got Bill Nye, Jake from State Farm. We even got a pledge from Obama, which, you know, it's Texas, so they're like, don't boo the president, Texas. I'm like, yeah, don't boo the president. I wish they would have said thanks, Obama. They probably did. I might have missed that because they were booing. They're like, don't boo the president. He's your president. He's your president. Wow, you really want another Bush, don't you? Fucking Texas. What's wrong with you? I say this as that Ahmed kid, Stand With Ahmed. He brought in that whole bullshit that went down. Oh, it must be a bomb. It's called racial profiling, and that shit don't fly. Kofi and Devon to start this match off, and why would you slap Devon in the back of the head? And it's... I know you did it before, but you're doing it during the match now. Oh, so Kofi had to back away from that one and tagging Big E when Baba comes in. Rhythmic headlock from Big E on Baba. Like, he's like, he's the headlock, and he just like wrenches it when he wrenches it to the New Day. Bubba does break out and send Big E down. Kofi sailing overhead and tries to go for Woods, but Kofi drop kicks him from behind. Kofi drop kicks him from behind and brings Bubba to their corner, so we get like the tandem tag offense. I'm like, okay, he's in that corner now, so they're gonna start doing the thing. And accompanying the stumps on the corner is Xavier Woods with trombone doing the scales like do re mi fa sol la ti do. He tag into the other guy and he goes and it goes backwards do si la ta. I don't remember what it is. And then we get the Rocky theme, which brings Kofi in the little juke and jive, the shuffling. He's like, like I made a Bob Charlie joke on back when he was just Kofi Kingston, boo boo boo. Like I made pub. That's bringing a joke back from like years ago that I had. Bob Charlie from Super Punch Out. Because the referee, when he got up for the first time, he's like, start juking and jiving. That's what made me think of it again. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, wait, isn't Woods the one with the Creed gimmick? At least in TNA it was. He would come out with like a fro and it was wear the American stuff. He was Consequences Creed. Which had the actually really good team of TNA of Truth and Consequences. That was cool. Good name. So yeah, it was our Truth and Consequences Creed. I guess sharing is caring. Houston at least recognizes Rufio. Again, you people were thinking Shadow the Hedgehog. Nope. Sorry. Thank you for playing, though. We got some lovely parting gifts for you. Dudley's come back in and have the match won with a 3D on Kofi, but Woods comes in and causes the DQ, so the title stay with the New Day. And after the match, Big and Kofi go to Woods like, get the tables! And I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna put him through a table. And I'm like, nah, there's gotta be something here. Like, they would break their own word, and the announcers were like, oh, hypocritical of the New Day. I thought they were going to save the tables. Now they're bringing one in. So he brings one in, and he does like his little, he celebrates a little too prematurely as the Dudleys rock out and just send Kofi and Big E spilling out to the outside, leaving Rufio all by himself. He's like, hey, I guess you're gonna fly after all. Fight to the table. And WWE was quick on that one with like the slow motion. He gets him up there. He's like, ah. Guess the Dudleys are the pan now because they beat Rufio. It's like, you know, give them the sword. Devon, get the pixie dust. Think lovely thoughts. Like, for instance, not messing with the Dudleys. Because otherwise it's about to get pretty unlovely. Just the green thing, but it's all camouflage. Do you know who I am? It's just flying overhead. Blast that Dudley pan! I'll get you what is me. Maleficent. Was it? Oh, Maleficent. Ooh. Oh, that voice is fucking amazing. I'm gonna get in with KZ because he can do Jafar and Oogie. You want it? Hey, come on and get it. Anyway, the Divas Champion is up next, and this is kind of again because Raven Siren put it up on Monday that it was just, like, gonna be moot now, and he was all over Twitter like being like, "Yay, this kind of meant nothing because we kind of lost a lot of the." Like, it's like stale gum now, this match, kind of, because you lost a lot of... It lost a lot of the flavor on Monday, like what Monday was like. We were super hyped for that to happen, and then you have it again for the match, and it's like, Even if she won, it would have been like, yeah, she won, even though it just felt tainted. And a lot of people were feeling this one that same way. Becky Lynch looking like a ginger Jack Sparrow. But I'm looking at this like, there's no way in hell Nikki leaves with that title tonight. And then Nikki proceeds to have like 95% of this match going in her favor. Like, Nikki does a suplex, and it's like close to the bottom rope, but Charlotte's leg just drops hard on that bottom rope. So she's effectively fighting on one leg as Nikki just takes advantage of, like I said, like, not even joking. Like, this was all Nikki Bella. Like, Charlotte doing her best to fight her off, but Nikki just continues the punishment with strikes and leg locks, submissions, and she gets a submission in, and Team Bella does their thing that, like, they pull the rope farther away from Charlotte so she can't reach it, and Nikki releases the hold to admonish them. She's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? You trying to get me disqualified?" Yeah, because she gets caught there. Because again, if she loses by any means, pinfall, submission, DQ counter, she's gonna lose that title. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, and that's the time for Charlotte to on one leg to rally in with chops and a neck breaker for two. A big boot as well. Tries to get a backslide, and Nikki just kicks that bad leg again and reasserts herself, but seems to can't get through. So another suplex on the ropes. They said it was like the third one. I must have missed the first one. I think Nikki off the top rope gets countered into a very awkward spear because she's effectively on one leg and can't move at all. So it's just like she comes in and it's just like catches her and it falls down. It's like a hug, kind of. It looks really bad. And then she still managed to get that figure eight regardless, and Nikki taps out. It was very Cena-like, this match. Like, she not even, like, the entire match she was getting worked on, and then just spear figure eight and win, more or less. And again, Monday really took the wind out of the sails for this one. JoJo with Owens after winning the IC title. It says, ever since I came here, my life's been filled with moments. From winning the NXT title, from beating Cena in my first night in the WWE, to right now. And not because of some self-help book, it is now no secret of how great I am. Owens. I don't think I'm going to use that one. Ric Flair ready to party with Team PCB, which I think Becky fucks up the jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun. See, I can do that off the top of my fucking head. I don't know, I'm not even convinced I got it all 100% right, but I did better than, like, poor Becky Lynch just lost the plot. It's just, it's like, we're gonna party all night long, stay a little longer, and the whole thing, and they come away, and he's like, oh, he's very proud of Charlotte, and again, this should have been done Monday, and we would have just had, like, the rematch where we could have just done this again. But again, that might have taken a little bit more from Charlotte. It's weird. Like, Nikki Bella, all of a sudden, the badass, like, even, like, holy shit, she's like kicking Charlotte's ass. I'm like, wow. Would not have called that. Well, I guess we're getting a rematch, I guess, for, like, either, like, Raw or the next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. Women's match, Hell in a Cell. That could be interesting. I doubt they'll do that, but since TNA is no longer a thing, I want that. That's the one idea from TNA I want them to steal was a lockdown, where every match was at least just show it off like just once, maybe just like one time where every match is just a Hell in a Cell. I guess it comes back to that Spoony one argument where if you do it too much, it kind of robs it of its specialness. And yeah. Like the TLC kind of eventually stopped being as magic. Some matches work with that. Like it works with some, but only if you do it like once a year. Like how the Royal Rumble is, because that's special because you do that once a year. And every other like Battle Royal is like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of cool, I guess. So yeah, as long as you don't overdo it, I guess. And you but that would also count into relegating your big time match that used to settle a lot of feuds, Hell in a Cell, to an actual pay-per-view, which was a problem with me for a while. But anyway. Who's the third man? Who's it gonna be? What side is he on? Wyatt's versus 2/3 of the Shield and Joey Mercury? That's what it looked like. I looked away for a second. I come back and there's this tiny dude, this tiny bald motherfucker in Shield gear just comes in from behind. And security just snatch him up. I'm like, wow, how the fuck? Oh, it's great. And Bray played it for all it's worth. I was like, oh, that's your guy? That's your third man? Classic. Bobby Lashley, I'll be a sumbitch. No, he's still in TNA, I think. But no, I can't break the damn code, Kurt Jericho. Something's wrong happening with the Titans. What the hell? The numbers. I had to break the damn code. Partizzi. I do Jay fresh off being the Ryan Seacrest of Tough Enough, ready to do battle, but wow. Is your big secret? Like people on Twitter were like, I forget who it was, but I'm like, I think it might have been Jericho 222 or Raven Siren or somebody, but like, so other than Daniel Bryan or maybe like somebody from NXT, like some new up and comer, like maybe Samoa Joe or something like that, so I'm gonna bring up to the main roster, which is how I thought I would start this, but the ending was interesting. But I'll get anyway. Jericho does outspeed Harper, but now it comes to Strowman, who Ambrose and Reigns try to take down, but Strowman just flings him to the outside, just runs through both of them and tosses Jericho's corpse at him. Strowman does the damage, until Bray tags him in, he wants to throw in some hurt in there, so he starts in on Ambrose, who fights out. And they both make over to Luke Harper and Reigns now. Samoan dropping a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Strowman interferes as Bray has the ref's attention, so Strowman gets to interfere, do some things. He's like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And so then Harper just jaw-jacks Roman with a big boot. And then Bray comes in to lay in some more booting, and then it's like, Strowman, get in there, I'll finish him off. Bray holds up Roman for Harper to launch himself at him. And then a running back senton from Bray, who pulls him back in by his vest straps. Bray's been lifting. Like, yeah. Maybe he's getting ready for the Rumble, too. He was the guy who had that big... There's always that one guy who had the big, who's staying in the longest and who's kicking the most ass, who's getting like a fuck ton of eliminations. And that was, for the most part, last year, Bray Wyatt. So it was just cool to see Bray Wyatt just being like a little more dominant again, even with the numbers game or something like that. Strowman about to lay in some more damage till Ambrose comes in with a sleeper, but he gets tossed to the outside. Meanwhile, Dodgel to attack the Jericho, who goes after Bray, and he does that drop kick into the corner, takes Strowman out off his foot and out into the outside. Smart. Very smart. Well, it's a Jericho, and Luke Harper has to come in to save the match. And he gets drop kicked out now. Double clothesline from Dean and Wyatt, who both have to make the tag to Reigns and Strowman, respectively. And here we go again. Superman punch once, twice. Ambrose off the top finally takes Strowman down. Spear! And, had a lot of trouble with this. My stream cut out, but I did manage to come back, and they said, well, I saw it again in the preview where Jericho tags himself in and tries to cover Strowman. Gets it too. Goes for his code breaker. But Jericho just gets picked up and just squeezed right into a ref stoppage. So much for Ambose's phone call. The Wyatts win. Wow. Well, I guess they needed him to... Oh, how do we make Strowman look strong? He made Fandango look strong. You can do that for him for like the month or however long he had that going for him. Like, that's okay. And after the match, Reigns and Ambrose are like understandably pissed with Jericho. He's just like, the fuck are you doing? They're looking at him like, you cost us the match. And Jericho just brushes them aside and like just like it's that rough thing where you see that all the time back in the day in wrestling. Sometimes people walk behind them and they just bump into the shoulder. It's like you get it's like they're not even there. Like just right through them, brush them aside like nothing. So Jericho's just total lack of respect for these guys. Just total disrespect. Just blows right past him and walks to the back. I'm sensing a feud can come from this. Maybe like Ambrose and Reigns pretty much telling Jericho, "Oh, you're more interested in being Mr. Podcast now. You're just a shill for that now. You don't give a shit anymore about wrestling." Which for Jericho would probably piss him the fuck off because he is that accomplished an athlete. So that could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's like a one-off, and one of them have a match with Jericho while the other deals with the Wyatt family still. Again, the ending was interesting. Once again, this is just might be thinking more, and maybe Jericho puts those guys over now, and maybe gives. Well, I don't know. Not that they need that, but I don't know. I'm just thinking what could come from that. Because well, he's back. I don't know what he's doing now. Tough Enough's wrapped up. He's got his own podcast. Well, what else does he do? That's what I'm thinking. Like, they could, like, talk shit about him and goad him into a match. It'd be kind of a heel thing to do. But, yeah, be like... But Chris Jericho could heel it back as well as he can. He could be like, oh, I'm above all that. And you called me in for a match, and I did what I did, and thought I had the match. Like, explain yourself. But I'm thinking they're going to do that Monday night or something. He's going to explain himself. And he's going to be like, I don't have to explain to you. I'm Chris Jericho. I am megastar and blah, 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 blah. Like, they could really heel him off with that. But anyway, Triple H and Seth Rollins up backstage, and he's back in the all-white attire. Yes! They tell him, hey, he says, like, he's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, yeah, you're ready. You're ready. And Sheamus walks in with the briefcase, and he's like, yeah, he's ready. So am I. Or Apple Johns. People say Propadoo. I hear Apple Johns. I definitely hear an A sound at the beginning of that. I don't know where you're getting Brapadoo. Makes just about as much sense, I guess. But damn right the challenger comes out first. History favoring the champ. Cole explains that the U.S. title only changed hands one night here in Houston back in when Barry Windham won it. So, WCW stuff. Cena throwing hands early on, and then Rollins with a sleeper holding that huge stomp from the top. And there's like the Mexican wave, and Rollins is just like drinking it in, like he's egging him on. I think I don't know if that's a good idea, but maybe it's like Rollins. But of course, it's like Rollins keeps drinking in the crowd's adoration for him, and Cena just snatches him and rolls him up. What a heel! Damn you, Cena. Rollins now mocking Cena, setting up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena fights out of it with shoulder blocks and goes for his now, but gets kicked in the head. And at some point, they fight back for a while. Cena goes for a second time, and this time when he goes for the kick, he blocks it and turns it into a Canadian destroyer. It's no Petey Williams, but it doesn't look like utter shit like the Springboard Stunner. I think he stopped using that now, thankfully. Like, people, like maybe he's listened to people for once, and he's like, you know what? I've never hit anybody with this, and it looks kind of shitty. And then maybe he heard, like, Stone Cold, like you know, you don't finish a match with it. You know, what's the point? So, I haven't seen it in a couple of weeks. I thought I would see it in this paper, like he would really bust it out, but no, he's gone to the. Maybe he can do the Cena Destroyer. It's like, all right, he can hit that fairly well enough. It doesn't look as crisp, but it's not something he can completely fuck up, or we haven't seen him fuck up. Rollins lands on his feet from an AA super kick for 2. Air Rollins over the top, who lands on his feet but misses Cena on the frog splash. Tornado DDT from Cena for 2. Superplex and into another one off the floor, like a superplex off the top rope, and then it was like a side suplex or something like that, like another double suplex, almost a 3. And at this point, I'm like, fuck anybody who blames the lower ratings on Seth Rollins. It's the shit booking, if anything else, because curing pediatric cancer does not excuse you for bullshit booking. I told you I wouldn't forget that. Cena transferred an AA once again. Rollins rolls him up into a power bomb to the turnbuckle for another near fall. Rollins counters a lunge from Cena and tries the AA of his own. Cena with another suplex and then a leg drop from the top rope. AA connects, Cena wins. LOL. Good news is the Open Challenge will be back. At least that's what people are saying on Twitter. I'm like, hey, yeah, okay. Silver lining. So Rollins is like, well, I lost one title. I better leave before I lose the other one. He grabs the title and tries to leave, and Cena AAs him on the floor and rolls him back in. And so he's just like laying down trying to guess for air. Sting slowly makes his way to the ring. In comes Sting for a Scorpion Deathlock. Already in the beginning of the match, and Seth makes to the bottom rope. Seth gets a crossbody for 2, goes after Sting and gets launched over the top rope, tries to escape. And Sting pulls Rollins into the steps. And Rollins is, like he's getting beat up, he keeps trying to escape, and Rollins at some point, maybe trying to get DQ'd so he can retain his title. He grabs like a table, like a monitor off that table. But he gets thrown into that barricade again and again. And Sting finally brings Seth in and beats on him some more and whips Rollins into the turnbuckles. Tries to continue to boot on him, climbing up the table, and Seth just, like they're on the outside, he's about to put him through a table, and Seth just shoves Sting off and sends him crashing to another table. My whatchamacallit, and this is where I think everybody's whatchamacallit really crashed here, so I had no idea what happened, but I tried to piece what I could together. I mean, it was out for a while, like a good 2-3 minutes. I was dead, the network feed. So did he hit something? I don't know. But it seemed like he was going to leave, but maybe he saw like Sting was down when, you know, like a shark would smell blood in the water. Like you could make that analogy with the announcers. And like he's like, okay, that's where the feed died. Like he was like about to leave, and maybe he came back and I was like, all right, he's down. He's fucked up my statue. I'm gonna go fuck him up now. I'm like, okay. So I come back to Seth booting on Sting some more, looking for the pedigree to put Sting away, but he fights out. Seth about to go over the top rope, but Sting shoves Seth right into the top of that barricade. Whew. Like head first, but man, he immediately gets back in. Like he no-sold it, or maybe he just like, I was like, he's in, like, they sell it like he's incensed, like he has to boot Sting. This is the guy that fucked his statue and wants his title and like ruined his big night. So Seth's like fucking pissed off. Like he hits the bottom rope, and by the time they cut back, he's already back in the ring. Like Seth's just like, fuck it. Sting catches Rollins again, and Seth gets his foot on the ropes to save himself from that another Scorpion Deathlock. Sting's face paint now just jaw paint at this point. Like his whole top of his head and like the sides are all gone now. It's just his chin is off, and so it's all like just like that face. Stinger splash, but Rollins power bombs him into the clothesline. Sting dodges it, but falls in a heap as the match stops, and the doctors have to like check on the guy. Like, a big thing that could have happened. Like he dodged the clothesline, but then he like maybe went too far, and he just collapsed. And so doctors have to like check on him. And Rollins healing it up like, oh, you believe this guy? He's trying to get out of this match now that I tried to get out. Dude's doing his job. He's a heel. Again, he reminds me a lot of... and he's certainly a lot better heel for the Authority than Randy Orton, who would, like, a week in, week out, would just bitch and complain. Like, Rollins, I mentioned this on yesterday when I was doing the first part of this podcast. But yeah, Rollins, more often than not, will back it up. Like, he's cocky, but 9 times out of 10, you put him in a ring with anybody, and you'll have a good match. He'll back it up, Yeah. Again, that's why people like Seth Rollins is champion. That's why our ratings are low. Fuck you. No. I refuse to believe that. You can't convince me of that. I know it's like the same old where it's like, oh, I'm cocky and being like a shit heel and run away. That's what heels do. Again, it's the booking, not the people. That's my take on it anyway. Like I trust the people who actually are wrestlers and know what they're doing in the ring to tell a good match. The writers you have are just writers for like episodes and like soap opera writers, not like writers who have like more knowledge of the wrestling thing and like the psychology that goes into that. So the people booking your matches are out of touch, as people like to say, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of agree with you a little bit. Once again, no one says NXT sucks. Because you got someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. Triple H, better or worse? All the shit he's done in the back you could argue with, but dude knows what he's doing. So yeah, they're back and forth. Rollins goes for a pedigree. Once Sting makes it to his feet, like, they continue the match and gets countered into the Scorpion Deathlock already. And Rollins makes it to the ropes for the 3rd time in the match. Like, he will not tap out. And he goes to get up into Giri. Sting blocks another pedigree, but Rollins gets that momentum onto a roll-up from that and retains his world title. Sheamus runs into attack, but here comes the Demon Kane. Yeah, he was back and he's pissed and pretty much left for dead and told he was fucking worthless by Rollins. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, he was back and now we're gonna have him for the title, I guess, at Hell in a Cell. So yeah, Kane destroys Rollins and Sheamus is like, yeah. I like do it one more time, fella. Do it one more time, and Kane just chokeslam Sheamus. So yeah, the Brothers of Destruction both have big matches, and Sting is 0-2. Still put on a hell of a match. At his age and that injury, he still like wanted to continue that match. Like people on Twitter, and I was like, I was kind of hitting on at the end. I wasn't hitting too much. I was like, wow, Sting 0-2 in WWE so far, because he lost to Triple H as well. But I'm like, put on a good. I'm like, yeah, he did put on a good match, didn't he? That was like, that wasn't the spot fest and the shenanigans that was the WrestleMania thing. That was different. That's Now it's like, oh, okay, this guy can actually. That's some psychology. This guy can actually do some. We actually got a good match out of him, and Rollins, the workhorse, had to work twice through Cena and Rollins. So Rollins losing the battle but winning the war. He's managed to keep hold of the world title, but Cena once again. What did Cole say? He was a 5-time United States champion. So. But that was the pay-per-view. It wasn't great. I'd been pissed if I had spent like the normal pay-per-view money. Maybe it would have been felt like this was okay. Like if I paid like the $40, $50 or whatever that they say it for now. So I still think they should stop doing that. If you pay for this, you'll get this. I'm like, yeah, I know, we know. Anyone who's a fan should. By now should have the network, even with the fuck up, which is what I was worried about. That was my initial concern with getting the network, that that was gonna happen like all the time. It was gonna crash the shit out of it, and it did. So they're still working things out. So I think you don't get to sow shit for a while. Like you're you lost the food for like a good 2-3 minutes during your main fucking event. So I'd shut the fuck up if I were you. Okay. Again, I don't mean to get all upset about that, but I was just like, well, they're the ones upset. They're the ones. It feels like a personal attack. I'm like, you don't. You're paying $54. What the? Are you a fucking idiot? Go buy our network for $10. Yeah, do the smart thing. It's better than Netflix. No, the fuck it isn't. Yeah, it's like Netflix only better. I take issue with that too. I don't even use Netflix that much, and I know for a fact that's not. My parents use that Netflix, and I'm like, okay, that's what Netflix is? I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, Cole's full of shit. Okay. Like, everyone on Twitter was saying that, but I'm like, okay, I have visual confirmation now that Cole is, in fact, full of shit. You know, riddled with fecal matter. Before I make that more uncomfortable, I'm gonna say, that's the podcast. Thank you for watching. Take care.